Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're in the office of President Mirta Martin of Fort Hays State University as we catch up on activities from 2014 at the end of the year and also look ahead to the new beginnings of Fort Hays State University with President Martin. First of all, I'd like to get, if we could, the Christmas gifts that were received. Tell us about those, would you?
Certainly, and Happy New Year. It's wonderful to see you here, and you too, Mr. Producer. My daughter was able to go to Germany on to a summit. She's doing research, as you know, for children with autism, and I wonder how she got a Fort Hays State University shirt, but she happened to be taking a picture and in Germany, and of course the saying in the back of the picture is both in German and in English. But the English version, as you can see, is that many small people in many small places can do small things that can alter the face of the earth. And that's important for all of us here at Fort Hays State University and throughout the world to be able to remember that we don't need to move the entire mountain. It can be moved one grain at a time, and we will enact change. And that's what we do at Fort Hays State University very well. We enact change and we impact lives.
And we also had to move number one son's picture over here too, so that we can balance this out.
That's exactly it. You know, it's as I say to Patrick, he's my favorite son, and to Catherine, she's my favorite daughter. So it was wonderful, you know, having them home for Christmas, both of them. It was a very, very special gift. Christmas is, after all about family, and being surrounded by them made it very special.
Let's, if we could, get a perspective, a unique perspective, I think. President Obama has recently expanded relations with Cuba. Give us your reaction as someone who is definitely involved in that situation.
You know, the answer is I don't know enough to be able to comment on the public policy aspect of it. The gut feeling when it came out was that it was to free an innocent man who had been in prison unjustly for very many years. And that individual was able to get home to his family for the holidays. And that is something that touched my heart, because he and his family had an experience that for many of us who are Cubans, we will never be able to have. I never had Christmas with my family because we were all split all over the world. So I'm thankful for that action. I also hope that what will happen as a result of this new pact is that the common people of Cuba, the lower rank of people, the ones who have to work, will have access to food. You know, my father lives in Cuba, as you know. Were it not for the money that we send, he couldn't eat. And even though he may have the money to purchase the food, often there is no food to be purchased. So hopefully, the ability to have these relationships with Cuba will afford these individuals the ability for a better life. The area that concerns me is that Cuba is still imprisoning innocent people. There is no freedom of speech. You cannot get on a plane and jump over and come visit relatives who have Christmas with relatives. And if nothing has changed, then I have serious concerns about the greatest country, the greatest democratic country in the world, acknowledging and giving validity and credibility to a communist country that has enslaved its people for over 50 years. So again, it's not knowing the public policy behind the decision. I don't know what exactly will happen, but again, on the personal side, I'm happy for the family. On the other side, I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe the people, the common people, will have access to food and to clothing and to things that we consider normal or accessible for us. But then at the higher level, at the public policy level, I hope that there is a very strong signal that is sent that states we are not creating legitimacy for a country that still enslaves its people.
Well stated, as usual, President Martin.
Thank you.
Now let's turn our attention to some unfinished business from last year, if we
Yes.
could. And first of all, during the annual holiday party back in December, you handed out some Distinguished Service Awards.
We did. We did. We had both staff and faculty. Of course, Mark Cook and Mitch Weber were our distinguished staff, distinguished award. And Mark has touched, I think, everybody's life. And well, both gentlemen really have touched everybody's life in this university. If there's anything to do with computing, Mark is there. And then, of course, Mitch. Where can you not find Mitch? You know, whether, especially in the last 2 or 3 months, it seems like he has been my constant shadow. I keep saying to him, I'm going to break the camera. But he does a tremendous job of being able to showcase and collect and embrace the life of Fort Hays State University through his pictures. And many of the publications that you see throughout showcase that. You know, on the faculty side, we have 3 candidates that had tremendous achievements. They were recognized for their scholarship. They were recognized for their service. They were recognized for their teaching. We had Kathleen Ward, and we also had Bob Meyer. And then we also had Eric Denault. And these individuals represent all that is good at Fort Hays State University in the area of scholarship, of teaching, and of service. Giving back to the university, giving back to our students, giving back to our community, giving back to their specific disciplines.
And those faculty members then will go on to the spring semester. They'll be joined by a new group, and then there will be a final award at the end of graduation.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Exercises.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
During the time, too, since our last visit, President Martin, we saw an increase, significant increase, thanks to a couple of Fort Hays State supporters, their company,
Yes.
to the Power of One campaign.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we have been so very thankful to the generosity of our friends, of our supporters, of really the people who make up the family of Fort Hays State University. And Daryl and Marilyn Seibel were the last, some of the last to contribute to our campaign. They gave a very, very generous personal gift, which was matched by their company. We also, by Edward Jones Company. But, you know, we had our mayor, for example, Henry Schroller, who also contributed significantly to the Power of One scholarships. We had the Stenos, we had the Bickles, the Kellogg's, the list goes on and on and on. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention all of the people who gave. You know, just yesterday or the day before, when we announced the end of the Power of One scholarship, Tim Chapman, the president and CEO of the foundation, stated it very well. And that is, you know, the success is really a tribute to the generosity of all the members who made an impact. Whether you gave $1, we're thankful. Whether you gave $5, we're thankful. Whether you gave $10, we're thankful. Because every dollar, every penny, every cent goes to make an impact on the life of the next generation of leaders. And as one of the students said who spoke, thank you. Thank you, Fort Hays State University family, for investing, for believing in our children, in our next generation of leaders.
And with the exceeding of the goal of the Power of One by $50,000, Tim Chapman also pointed out that there were thousands of donations.
But 9,500, yes, sir.
9,500 donations.
Over 9,500. And again, one may have been $1, and one may have been millions of dollars. And we will accept and welcome and cherish and appreciate the $1 and the $1 million, because what it does is it says resoundingly to the world that the family of Fort Hays State University believe in our students, and that they want to be able to educate Kansans. That they believe in the power of education, and that they're willing to invest by reducing the debt load of our students through scholarship.
And I noticed too that this is by way of giving a tribute not only to past President Hammond, but to the future of Fort Hays State with President Martin. I think people are voting with their dollars by a significant amount, saying that this university is solid and will continue. That was my take on it.
Well, that's very kind of you. I think it is an incredible distinction for Dr. Hammond. I think really what our friends are voting on is on the future of this nation and the future of this world, which is our students. It's not about me. It's about those who we are privileged to serve and to educate. And for me, those are our students and our faculty and our staff and our friends and our alumni and our community partners, and the world has voiced a resounding affirmation that they believe in our future and our future is bright. And I believe in that.
And along that same line, a while back, we saw your news clip about tuition at Fort Hays State and the ranking that came out with Fort Hays State University nationally.
Yes, sir. It came in second nationally, but as I stated in that conference, the fact that we have an affordable tuition supports our commitment to create an affordable pipeline for those who seek an education. But we need not just look at the affordability of the tuition, we need to look at why people come. People come because of our faculty. People come because of our staff. People come because of our programs of distinction. The fact that we have an affordable tuition that affords them the opportunity to realize their dream is the aha moment. It's the icing on the cake.
We'll be seeing a lot more of that in the future
yes.
too in the spring semester as the recognition of those programs and faculty continues here at Fort Hays State University. Along that same line of fundraising, there was the I Fed the Tiger campaign, which was kind of an internal campaign, which really, again, response was incredible.
It was. Again, this is the putting my money where my mouth is type of thing. And we had tremendous partners who matched dollar for dollar up to $100. So every dollar that you gave up to $100 was matched. We set a lofty goal of $40,000. It was exceeded. Again, the beauty about things like that is that what people are saying resoundingly is that we have an incredible body of students, and we look to attract an incredible body of students. They're saying that at Fort Hays State University, this is where the bright minds are. And they believe in those bright minds, and they believe in that bright future. In my inaugural speech, I spoke about the fact that it's time for Fort Hays State University to join the ranks of having Rhodes Scholars, because we have the faculty, we have the staff to teach those bright minds, and we have the bright minds to become Rhodes Scholars. So I'm pleased and proud to announce that as of January 1st, we now have an honors college at Fort Hays State University to attract the bright minds of the state and of our nation, to create a pipeline through specific courses to attract those individuals who will lead our nation and lead our world, and who will gain us the recognition of becoming a Rhodes Scholar at Fort Hays State University. So we're very excited about that bright future that lies ahead.
And when does this honors program go into effect?
With the incoming class of August. So we are recruiting the inaugural class of the Honors College of Fort Hays State University. And We have hit the ground running. Dr. Matt Means has spent the entire holiday putting together a planning plan and curriculum. Dr. Joey Lynn, our Vice President for Student Affairs, has been working with him, our CFO, Mike Barnett, to try to craft a way to go out and have this honors college. And of course, they've been working with our faculty to create specific curriculum. So it's a wonderful new beginning. Truly, this year is going to be filled with energetic, disruptive innovation that is going to permeate throughout the university, that will afford us the opportunity to re-examine that which we have done well and make it even better. And then look at things that we need to do to attract the 21st century student.
A fitting tribute to President Martin would be the first Rhodes Scholar from Fort Hays State University in the future.
A fitting tribute to Fort Hays State University, not to Dr. Martin.
Oh, she's always doing that, isn't she? More with President Mirta Martin on Community Connection coming up.
Hi, I'm Andrea Clinkscale, and this is...
Wait a minute, I'm Andrea Clinkscale.
And I'm Chris Munch. Join us on House to Home. That's a house. We're going to talk about homes from top to bottom, left to right, front to back, and where's it going to air?
It's going to be on Eagle Community Television, channels 14 and 614, or you can even watch it on HaysPost.com.
Very cool. Bring a pencil. You're going to need one.
Welcome back to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television with President Mirta Martin in the President's office at Fort Hays State University with energetic, disruptive innovation. Now, what is that?
That just means that we are going to be taking out our roller skates this semester, and we're going to be looking at everything we do in this university that we have done so well for so long. And we're going to be going ahead and going out there and saying, how can we improve on perfection? And we're going to improve on perfection. We're going to look at the synergies that need to be created, that bring together departments to create a new energetic way of getting things done. We're going to tap into those talents that faculty and staff have and pull it out and say, this is how we educate the 21st century student. We're going to create a synergy that brings together those bright minds, both of students or faculty and staff, for one purpose, and that's to educate the 21st century student. We have to create economies of scale. You know, an awful lot of the times you do 20%, I do 20%, 20%, and wouldn't it make much more sense if you did 100% and you were the point person that I could call? So I appointed back in October, after being here for 3 months, which really by my work standards was close to about 7 or 8 months. I had spoken to an awful lot of people, appointed a task force, a re-engineering task force, both academic and operational, and I charged them to look at everything that we do, to create a system that would facilitate and tap into the talent of our faculty and our staff, that would streamline processes, that would make us more effective, that would create a right size for the university. You know, the re-engineering is not about doing away with positions, quite the opposite. It's about finding those positions that do not exist, that are critical to the survival of the 21st century university, and creating it. It's about creating a synergies of departments so that you have a sum total of energy and of minds that are looking at the world differently, but all have the same end and goal in mind. So, you know, this semester is going to be disruptive innovation throughout. It's going to be energetic, it's going to be enthusiastic, it's going to be fun. I hope that at the end of this academic year, we will have gone through a process. We're expecting the report from our task forces by the end of this week. From there, we will discuss it with our executive leadership team. It'll go to the deans. We'll discuss it there. We'll go to the cabinet. We'll discuss it there. This is kind of the straw man, you know? And then we'll pull it back out to the community, the Fort Hays community, for further tweaking, with the idea that by the end of this academic year, when contracts are getting time to roll out. People will know what musical chairs will be created, and they will have an enthusiastic look at doing their jobs with a different set of lenses, so to speak. You know, the purpose of this re-engineering is to find those holes and plug them, is to find that talent and pull it out. It is to support faculty and staff with additions that afford them the opportunity to do the job that they were hired to do by using technology that otherwise would not have been there, or by bringing in individuals to complement their strengths.
This task force, when you created it, you drew from a lot of different areas, didn't you?
Actually, we did, but I didn't appoint them. You know, I went out to the executive leadership team, and I said to them, I would like to have your recommendations for a task force. The task force does not have any administrators. It does not have any deans. It does not have any directors. This is a grassroots approach, because it is the people who get the work done in this university that know where the efficiencies of scale lie, that know what we don't know. You know, I give the example all the time. I come in here and my cell phone is not working. And I go to Karen or to Heather or to Regina and I say, my cell phone is not working. And I say, here it is. And I walk away. You know, 2 or 3 hours later, my cell phone is miraculously working. You know,
I think I've heard that from my producer on several occasions.
I don't know how it was done, but they know. And they know who they had to call on who, and they know that they had to call 3 people to get this problem solved. And they know that if instead of 3 people there was 1 department or 1 point person, it would make their lives easier. So their recommendations came from the deans, it came from the department heads, it came from the vice presidents, and those are the people who formed these task forces. I did not appoint them. They were appointed, and I made very sure and very clear that I didn't want to have anyone who was an administrator, because it needed to be grassroots. And these individuals have done a phenomenal job. They have been they've been sending out surveys, they've had forums where people can speak, they have solicited the input through email of individuals. It has been very much a bottom-up approach, and that's my philosophy about leadership. For me, it's bottom-up information for top-down support. It's not my way or the roadway. This is our university, this is our family, this is our community. It takes all of us to get the work done, and together, through the different lenses of diversity, of looking at the world differently, of the different thoughts, that's how we're going to remain great, and that's how we're going to achieve perfection.
From the people in the trenches, basically.
That's right. That's right.
The couple of the areas that we talked about last year on Fort Hays State Campus and our community connections with the different departments, on a couple of occasions, those people in those departments said they were thrilled and excited that you had visited those departments and had asked for input and wanted to see what was going on in those departments.
And that's not a one-time event. They're going to be seeing my faces until they're sick of me.
You mean you're coming back, huh?
I'm coming back. And it's not a threat, it's a promise. I do. I want to go back to the departments. There's still a lot that I haven't been able to visit, and it is my goal to visit each and every department, just like it is to visit with our students. That's really important for me. As you know, the University House is open to students. We've been having reception twice a week so that the students can get, my goal would be that every student that studies at Fort Hays State University will have had an opportunity to come to the house and to set foot in their house. Because for one thing, then that will mean that I will have had the opportunity and the privilege to meet them one-on-one. It's also important for me to open the University House to our faculty, to our staff. This is their home, and we opened it during Christmas, and it was wonderful. I think we had over 700 of our family members here at Fort Hays who visited the house, And it was wonderful to see them outside of, for one thing, they let me out of jail. So I was able to be there and to celebrate Christmas and the season with them. And so it's important to create a sense of family. We are a family, and we're going to be seeing lots and lots and lots more of each other.
That's interesting that you refer to this behind that desk there as jail, because you have opened this space up, and here we are sitting at a table visiting rather than the president behind the desk.
Yes,
there.
and as a matter of fact,
and you're free. You're free, right?
That's right, and that's why I love having to see you all, and that's why this little table is here, and not chairs in front of the table. I need to be close and centered. We need to create family, and that's what we're going to do.
And that type of creation, if you will, is going to involve everybody at Fort Hays State.
It does. This is on a realistic note. We spend more time with each other at work at Fort Hays than we spend with our blood relatives. So, you've heard me say it, this is not a job for me. This is a passion. I truly get up every morning and it's like, I can't get to work. I'm so
I think we figured that out, haven't we?
I just love it. And I hope and I pray that everyone at Fort Hays State University has that feeling about coming home. And being able to see family and speak with family and have fun with family. And if they don't, then hopefully in this re-engineering, there will be opportunities to find that passion that drives who you are, so that you will have that opportunity that I've been given, and I'm so thankful for, to be able to get up in the morning and say, thank you, Lord, because I'm doing what I love doing. And that's being part of a place that I call home, that's being part of a family of students, of faculty, of staff, of community, of partners, of a place that has embraced me, and a place that I now call home.
And that passion translates not only from the grounds crew to the professors in the classroom, and if they can then translate that to the students, that's the success of Fort Hays State, isn't it?
It takes everyone. A title is just that. It's a title. That's why I'm always telling you to call me Mirta. It's just a title. It's a set of responsibilities that we do. And each one of those responsibility augments and adds to the whole. If our grounds were not beautiful, people wouldn't come. If our buildings were not cleaned, people wouldn't come. If our faculty did not know what they were doing, people wouldn't come. If the staff didn't support the faculty, people wouldn't come. It takes everyone to make Fort Hays State University a home and to make it the destination of choice.
President Mirta Martin, Fort Hays State University, our community connection. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.